Hi everybody, this is Shauna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy. In today's video, you're going to learn how to teach the Vowel Diphthong Syllable type using the Dyslexia Training Institute spoken sequence, which uses the Orton-Gillingham teaching method. Let's get into it. As with all good reading remediation programs, the Dyslexia Training Institute program is sequential. It's progressive. And for this reason, we're always moving from the simple to the complex ideas. We teach the syllable types as 7 different syllable types. And the vowel diphthong, you'll see, comes right after the vowel teams. There are effective reading programs out there that don't teach with the 7 syllable types. I've seen them that they have 6 instead of 7. And in those ones, they're lumping the vowel teams and the vowel diphthongs together as 1 syllable type. And that's okay, just a different method. In the Dyslexia Training Institute, we separate them. So there are 7 syllable types in total. And the vowel diphthongs we teach as a distinct, different thing. Whenever we teach a new syllable type, we always begin in the same way. And that's by giving out a rule card. So here it is. And we tell the student, we go over the definition. We say that in the vowel diphthong syllable type, when you have a syllable that has 2 vowels and the vowels are side by side, they make a brand new sound. The students have just learned about the vowel team before we went on to vowel diphthongs. And so we're going to have them compare those 2 syllable types. We'll show them that vowel diphthongs, well, they look on the surface, they do look like a vowel team because the 2 vowels are side by side. However, the vowel diphthong is different than the vowel team because in this case, the vowels are making an unexpected sound, a brand new sound. Now, we like to tell a little story because that gives the students a way to hang that idea on something. And so we'll say, well, imagine, see how in the picture on the rule card, there's kids with instruments. One has a mic and the other has maracas there. We'll say that imagine these are two best friends, these 2 vowels, and they're in their music class. Each one grabs a different instrument and they start playing. And the sound that they create is a brand new sound. It's something totally different than either one of them could have made on their own. That's the vowel diphthong story. Now, to prove the point, we might give the student an example like the word coin, and we'll have them tap it out and they'll hear 3 sounds, k, oi, n. And we'll zero in on that O-I combination. And we'll see that it's not making an O, it's not making an I, it's not making an ah, it's not making an in, none of the expected sounds of those 2 letters. Instead, that combo is making oi, a brand new sound. So we've given out the rule card. We have told a story so the student can hang the idea on the story. And now it's time to, well, if you've watched my videos in the past on all the different syllable types, you know it's time to work with the idea in a whole variety of multisensory ways. As we teach the different combos that are vowel diphthongs, we're going to add them to all the parts of the lesson, from the drills to the reading to the writing sections. So think about adding them to the visual drill and the auditory drill and the blending drill. We'll put them in the isolated word section in reading, in the connected text section in reading. We'll put them in the isolated word section in writing and the connected text, which is the sentences, in the writing. Magnetic letter tile drills for reading and writing, we'll put them there as well. So you'll just, we'll give the student multiple ways to work on the words. Now, as I've said before, the Orton-Gillingham method is one in which we always move from the simple to the complex. It's a very systematic method. And so whenever we start a new syllable type, we always take that syllable card drill that we've been using in the syllable type that was previous, and we put it on the shelf. And now we're going to bring back the blending drill. The blending drill is the drill that allows us to work on 1 syllable words. And once the student has mastered working on this new vowel diphthong concept with 1 syllable words, then we'll bring in the syllable card drill again. We'll put the blending drill on the shelf, bring in the syllable card drill, and that's the way that we work on 2 syllable and 3 syllable and even 4 and 5 syllable words. There is a set order in which we're going to teach the different vowel diphthongs, and we begin with A, W, and AU. And when we teach this, one really great way to start off is by having the students do a word sort. You'll write AU and AW words on a variety of index cards, and then you'll have different cards that'll be the headings under which the students will sort those words. And you'll have, AU at the beginning of a word, AW at the beginning of a word, AU in the middle of a word, AW in the middle of a word, and then AU and AW at the end of a word. And when does it happen? Sometimes I'll do this as a multisensory sort where they're actually sorting physical cards. And at other times with different students, it might be better just to use a chart. And you can find these in my lessons, which are free online. All my resources are there for you just to download. So if you look up the vowel diphthong syllable type in those lessons, you can just get what you need. The charts are all there. Okay, so if I was doing a word sort with this, I'd have the students sort those words, and then I would encourage them to start to see patterns. And they would, for example, see that AW is when we use aw at the end of a word. Think draw, claw, flaw. But do you ever see AU at the end? No, you don't. That's really useful information. If we look at the start of the word, when AU and AW are used, you can see that they both are actually used at the start of a word, but AW is only used in words that relate to this concept of awe, awesome, awful, awe. Hugely useful information there. It is trickier in the middle of a word. Sometimes when I'm teaching these, I'll think about, okay, what kind of pattern can I see? And I noticed that fault and vault, two French words, and that AULT pattern. So that could be something that could help them to remember the AUs there. Let me just take a second and show you how to get to these resources that I'm talking about on my website. Go to the Flying Cat Academy website and go over here to the tab at the top that says Free Lessons. Click on Free Lessons. And then you want to download the scope and sequence. And when you download that, click there on scope and sequence. And when you download it, you'll see that everything you need to teach is right here. And it'll say Introduction to Vowel Diphthong Syllable Type, Lesson 87. That's where it starts. So then you can go back to the website and just scroll down and find where's Lesson 87. And let's see, there's a video here where I'll be teaching Lesson 87 if you need a little help, and I can just teach the lesson for you. Or right here it says Download Resources, and you can just, let's scroll down here. Here is, here's the chart for AU in the beginning, AU in the middle, AW in the beginning, AW in the middle, and AW at the end. And if you keep going, all the resources that you need are right here. Here's a scooping drill for the last thing we did with vowel teams, because remember, this is the first lesson of vowel diphthongs, so we're still reviewing the preceding syllable type that we taught. And there's our scooping. Here's our card, our rule card that we introduced. Here's the completed chart. There's some word sums that we were working on. So you can see the lessons are really complete. You just have to press print and then they're there for you. And here's the isolated word sheet that we'll be reading in this lesson. Here's a story that focuses on the AU and AW combos. And there's the connected text that you're going to use for the sentence writing. Yeah, so it's all there, and feel free to use it. It's completely free, and the point is to help you. So please use my stuff. You'll spend some time, a few lessons, working on the AW-AU combos. And then it's time to move on to the next vowel diphthong team, which is OI and OY. For this, I recommend that you go back to the flyingcatacademy.com website, click on Free Lessons, and go to Lesson 89, where we introduce this. And if I just call it up here, I can show you what that looks like. So here's Lesson 89, and you'll have your phonemic awareness drill all done, and you'll see that phonemic awareness is going to be working on the sounds that we've already done. So in the drill section, that's always a review section. We haven't introduced OI, OY yet, so they're not there. And here's the blending drill, which focuses on the AU combo that we've been working on. And we'll do some syllable pounding. We'll do some syllable scooping. And we'll add suffixes to bases of previously learned syllable types. And let's just go. Here's the new part of the lesson. So in the new part of the lesson, we're working on OI, and there's a whole bunch of different combos that are really common. And so sometimes word families can be a great way to approach this. So the OIL family, the OIN family, and the OICE are really common OI ones. So let's just scroll down to, here's the scooping syllables from the AWs and AUs, which is the review. And there's the answers. Then here's the word sum sheets to work on the previous syllable types that we've learned. And then here is something that you can cut out so the student could do a word sort, so that they could read those words and sort them by the different word families. So it's a multisensory thing. Here is the single word list that the student will read using some ones that are previously learned, the AW and AUs, and then on this side is all the new stuff that we did today with the OIs. And here's a story that will focus on the OI, and there are your sentences for the lesson. So I strongly encourage you to use those lessons as a guide for you, or just use them completely, whatever works for you. Okay, let's imagine you've taught the student all the different vowel diphthongs, and they've worked with them on a one-syllable word level. They've mastered working with multi-syllable words that contain the different vowel diphthongs. Now it's time to work on adding suffixes. And in this syllable type, it is just as easy as vowel teams. When we add a suffix to a vowel diphthong, we just slam it on. That's the rule. So we can add this to the syllable card drill now, and we could have the student, like, it doesn't matter whether it's a ending that starts with a vowel, like ing, or whether it is an ending that starts with a vowel like ment. Same rule, you just slam it on. There's no spelling rule that happens there. With prefixes, same thing. As always, prefixes, there is no spelling rule, you just slam it on the front. And now we can start adding those to the syllable card drills. We can add words that have prefixes and suffixes that also contain vowel diphthongs. We can add them to every part of the lesson, and we will. Now, there are going to be situations that come up where it appears that a word is breaking the rule. If we're adding a suffix, sometimes we have to drop the E and add the ending. For example, look at the word peace, P-I-E-C-E. We have the I-E, and if it was a vowel team, it would be saying I, but it's not. That IE team is saying E, which is unusual. It's an unexpected sound, which makes it a vowel diphthong. In this case, if I wanted to turn peace into piecing, we've just taught the student, hey, you just slam on the ending. But that's not the case here because we have that silent E at the end of the word. And the E is there simply to make that C a soft C, right? Because remember we learned about when a C is followed by an E, I, or Y, it's going to be soft. So that turns it into peace. So if we have a silent E on the end of a word, we drop the E and we add the ending. So that is something we have to explicitly teach to the students, that when we have situations like that, we just have to reason it out. What is happening in the word? What is that, a silent E? Okay, well, we have to follow the silent E rule there. This is the point in teaching the vowel diphthongs where we teach the IGH family. I've always wondered why we teach this here, because the words that we use, they tend to be close syllables. And so think about light. We have that, we hear O-I, so that long I sound, and then GH is silent, and then we hear T, so L-I-T. So it is like an unexpected sound, but you can see there's only one vowel in this word, so it is a closed syllable, and yet this is the point where it is in the scope and sequence, and so I do wait, and I teach it during vowel diphthongs. I like to use a slider to do this one, and you just move the slider, and you can teach the students all the different words that are in that family: light, bright, sight, might. I think that the hardest thing for students when we're teaching the vowel diphthong syllable type is that there are so many words that, you hear a word and you're not sure, EW, OO, and OU can all make that oo sound. So how do you know which one's which? I like to hang, I'll see which the three ones of those three different vowel diphthongs, which one has the least words in it. And the oo, that's OU, is the one. So I would have the student make a story about those ones. Like we would say the youth group went through that route, and that gets a lot of those OU ones just in a story right there. And we can also do a card sort and make a story on the spot that uses the different words correctly. So to review, here's an example. Like I'll just put it up on the screen, and you can here's how I would teach that. Youth. Someone who is young has youth. There's only a few words where this situation is happening where the OU is making the oo sound rather than the ow sound. And so I made a sentence to help us remember this. And I'll put this sheet up here, and I'd like you to grab the sheet so you have it as well. And you're going to remember the following sentence. You can take the youth group through this route. I'm thinking I would be like a tour guide. We'd be on a bus, and we'd be going through some crazy route in a city. Who knows what you're thinking in your mind? And so say that sentence with me. You can take the youth group through this route. And circle all the words in that sentence. Like you can see that the sentence is right on your page there. Circle all of the words where you see the OU. In every case in this sentence, the OU is making the oo sound. So you'll circle the word you. What else will you circle? Here, I'll just add them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 5 words that are going to get circled. And these are the 5 common words that are using that oo sound for OU. Okay, now the task is I would like you to use your imagination, and it's going to be as crazy as you want. I want you to illustrate what is the picture that comes to your mind when you hear that sentence. You can take the youth group through this route. And that's it. You did it. You have learned everything that you have to do to teach the vowel diphthong syllable type. Well done. Thanks for watching. This is Shauna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy.